All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Here we are at the Love Forecast weekly live show. And let's get some sage in here, get some of these energies out. Go ahead and sage the cards as well. I'm Kirsten Brenner. Nice to have everyone here. And if you're a current subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing and being a part of this awesome community. And if you are a new subscriber, I appreciate having you here so much because this is all about having a community where people can come and relax. I go live a few times a week, and this is my Love Forecast show. I also on Thursdays have spiritual happy hour at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Savings. And then I also do pop-ups for live tarot readings. And so you can catch those in the playlist as well. So yeah, so welcome one and all. And we are going to talk about what's going on in the celestials tonight and how this is going to affect your love life and where it's going to hit in your chart. So that being said, I also do offer personal readings. You can get a live reading during the show, a mini reading, and the link is in the chat. And otherwise, you can go into my links, and I offer 1 hours. I also offer a Taco Tuesday special. I also offer a whole series of sessions of readings for you, and then we can go from there. So right now we have Uranus that just entered Gemini. And I talked about this last week on Spiritual Happy Hour. And with Uranus in Gemini is really shaking things up on a very quick, fast level. Gemini is an air season or air sign. And so when you have the planet of disruption, which is Uranus, which is basically the Tower card in the tarot, you have it enter a very fast moving air sign that has the balance of good and evil. The Gemini, don't get me wrong, but Geminis are kind of considered the twins. You have the good twin and the not so good twin, right? So when you have Uranus entering that sign for the next 7 years, wherever this is in your chart, you can go back to Spiritual Happy Hour from last week. I go over it in depth. We'll also touch upon it a little bit. We'll probably be talking about it a lot because it is a 7-year transit. So if you think about where you were 7 years ago and what's transpired in that area of your life, it's going to completely change. So expect the unexpected. In addition, we have Venus, the planet of love, the goddess of love, entering Gemini, sitting right next to Uranus. So you have love and you have unexpected things happening. And then with Gemini, you have that air energy of communication and media, technology. You have those three combined. Expect possibly new connections in your community or your love life or at work or even within yourself on how you communicate with yourself or even communicating with your subconscious mind. And so it's really going to be very interesting to see this transit unfold, of course, with all of the other transits that happen on a daily basis. And we also have a full moon in Scorpio on Thursday, which I will go over in Spiritual Happy Hour. We will do a full moon ritual and figuring out where we want to release these things that are hitting our astrological chart. So we're going to go ahead and do a collective reading, and then I'll go through all of these signs. And if you're just now joining, welcome. Please drop a heart in the chat or something like that. Just let me know you're here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And let's get started with the collective. What do we all need to know right now that's going on for our love lives? All right. Okay, we first have the card Firm Foundation. So this card pulled out is indicating standing your ground, standing in that integrity with your root chakra, and really standing this grounded energy of knowing what it is that you want and what you need. Because we are now in a time where integrity is authentic, and it's not about a showy lifestyle. It's not about, what you look like, what you can achieve. You're the best of this. We're coming into the age of Aquarius where this is a time it's all about community and helping each other and not letting your ego take the show, right? So let's see what other cards we have to back that up. So we have the drift card. So the drift card is indicating let go and let God. Just flow down that river. Don't try to swim upstream. Don't try to cause any chaos by, competition, by ruffling feathers, creating chaotic waters, things like that. This is all about just being in the flow of how things are going to manifest during this time that we're transitioning into. Remember, 2 weeks ago on Spiritual Happy Hour, we talked about the all of the planets and the celestials and Aries and how it's the great cosmic reset. However you want to call that, there is a lot of new change. We haven't seen any of this energy in our lifetime, and more so since I think like the 18 or 1600s or something like that. So to back that up, let's see how this is going to impact the collective spiciness. This is the Island Spice deck that I created. All right, we have move your body and break a sweat. So this is indicating, okay, see, going with the flow, but you need to move that energy that's going on with all of this Gemini energy and the Venus energy that I just spoke upon earlier. And it's really going to move that energy, that staleness that you have somewhere in your body. If you think about, if you were to scan your body at night before you go to bed, where are you holding tension? That's where you need to break a sweat and really just shake out that energy, because they're stuck emotions in your body. And also when you sweat, it creates more endorphins and gives you that dopamine hit when you're working out and you break that sweat and you're like, yeah, let's go. And then you're 100%, you feel so much better by getting that energy and those toxins out of your system. In addition, I'm also hearing, make sure that you're drinking a lot of water to hydrate and flush these toxins out of your system. Okay, so that was for my collective. And now I also like to pick each sign with my freestyle Love Supreme Cup. And we'll go through the signs, and then I will do mini readings after that. And then for anyone who's left in the chat that would like a 1-card free pull, I will do that and do a little micro reading. So first we're going to start with Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. What is going on? With Venus being basically the ruler of Taurus, you have your grounded energy and demeanor moving into Gemini, which is the air sign, right? Taurus is an earth sign. So this should be very interesting. And this is happening in your second house of finance. So finances meaning how you generate money. So with Uranus and Gemini in your second house and Venus, this is telling me that you might see some upheavals, but I think that if you were to look at how you're manifesting money and bringing money in for yourself, what is it that you love? What is it that's going to bring that energy forth to you? And you want to work with this energy and not against it. This could also indicate a partnership, even though that the 8th house traditionally is partnership and finances. I do feel that the sky is the limit. So I first pulled the power card for you. So yes, taking back that inner power and getting back into that lioness heart of what it is that makes you passionate. And if this is something that where you have an opportunity to have a partnership in finance, it could blossom into something unexpectedly. This doesn't really indicate love for you per se, but this is a love reading. So we're just going to go that way. We'll do more of the real astrology in Spiritual Happy Hour. So figuring out what it is that you want in love and figuring out what makes your heart feel the most authentic. I have the trim the cells card, and I can tell that the Uranus is really tripping up my speaking tonight, because I'm I can't get it out fast enough. But this is basically, it's time to take action and trim the fat, right? Where is it that you're leaking energy? Where is it that you are not moving forward with momentum and integrity and authenticity, okay? Because this is what's going to manifest and amplify your love life in a way where you're not feeling distracted, right? If you have floggy sails and you need to tighten those lines in when you're sailing, and so you can have a full sail that's tight and moving the boat forward, that's what you want. So it's time to take the helm, honestly, okay, Taurus? Let's see what the Island Spice says to say for that. Okay, we have here the lulling of the ocean song. So the rhythm of the ocean, getting into your own rhythm, right? Especially with the lion card. It's like basically you are getting back into that inner strength, that confidence that you have to tune back into what makes you tick and what makes you excited in love. So if you're single, this could indicate thinking about more of what do you really want in a partner and what is going to fulfill you. And we all know it's going to move towards authenticity. You can't fake these things anymore. All of those egos have to fall by the wayside. If you're currently in a relationship, this could indicate amplifying things and making it a stronger foundation. Maybe there's been some energy that's been leaking in other areas and not paying attention to your actual partnership. And this is saying, get back into the rhythm of the ocean and really feeling that energy and just getting back into that space of love and light. All right, so that was for Taurus. So now we will move on to, move on to Aries. Aries, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on, my fellow Aries? And Aries here myself. So drink some peppermint water for that one. Okay, so Aries, sun, moon, or rising, what is in store for your love life this week? This is what I pulled for the collective, the firm foundation. So standing in your power, having these strong pillars of guidance and knowing where you are willing to let people bend into your reality or where you're keeping those strict boundaries, okay? That's pretty interesting, Aries, because, there's been a lot of fire energy, and now with all of this air energy, it's actually air and fire grow hotter. So it's good that Aries are putting in boundaries, as you should. I have the autopilot card that popped in, and this is basically setting it, forget it. Put your intentions out there, what you're looking for in romance or how you want to amplify or how you want to show up in romance, and put it out there, and then just set it, forget it, and let it manifest and let it unfold. Aries, I feel like you really need to tune into your impatience this week and let things unfold naturally, because you could tend to, singe a little bit, and you don't want to do that. So that's why you're being asked by the universe to go on autopilot, stop trying to take control, and just see how things unfold once you relax. All right, so we'll pull a card out of the Island Spice deck. Give a little spank. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Aries, the card that pulled out for you for your Island Spices. I can't wait to be alone with you. So yes, making sure that you're being patient and not being too impatient to spend time with somebody that you're involved with or that you may meet. Try not to rush it this week. Let things unfold naturally. Don't let the rose-colored glasses steer you in the wrong direction, and don't get distracted by shiny objects. That's what I was trying to say. So that's what I have for you, Aries. Woohoo! Don't forget to tune in on Thursdays for Spiritual Happy Hour. More information with that. Okay, so now we're moving on to Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. How are my Virgos doing? Oh, okay. Sometimes I need a Virgo. I need my Virgo friends to help me with these dates for the astrology. Okay, Virgos, let's see what's in store for your love life this week. All right, so we have Triumph. This is great. So whatever you're trying to manifest that you've been looking for, whether it's if you're single, how you want to put yourself out there in the world, how you're being perceived, meeting new people, it's all a success. This is literally, everything that you've been putting into it is now going to start paying off with this Triumph, okay? If you're in a relationship, this is indicating that everything's headed in the right direction. Just make sure that you are paying attention to the small details and that you're both moving forward in the right direction and not just you, right? Make sure you're looking in the direction and not at each other. You're a team, okay, Virgo? Let's see what the Ocean Goddess deck says for you. Okay, we have the rum line. I love this. So in sailing, you have the rum line. You have point A to point B, but you cannot sail from point A to point B on a sailboat like you could if you were in a powerboat. You have to tack back and forth with the wind and go with the flow. And it teaches you patience. It also teaches you, how to fine tune your skills and your tactics, right? So whether this is for if you're single or in a relationship, this is saying that you may be excited to get the bounty, but you need to have patience as you strategize through this, okay? And it's all going to fall into place at the right time and everything's going according to plan, but it's going to take a minute to get there this week. So don't be discouraged, Virgo. Let's see the Island Spice says for you. Okay. See, have fun, but use discernment. Okay. This is perfect with the Remline card because this is saying, you can get from point A to point B, but you need to tack. You need to have, use some strategy here. Don't get discouraged if it's not going the way you want, because sometimes timing and delays they're always on your side. You're always in the right place at the right time. All right. So let me know how that resonates for you below. Should be interesting. All right, let's see who's next. All right, we have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Scorpio, how are you feeling with this full moon coming in on Thursday or May 1st, wherever you are in the world, Friday? And it should be pretty interesting how this is going to help you release some things in your current environment on how you are putting yourself out there in the world and how you see yourself. So we will be doing a full moon ritual on Thursday night at Spiritual Happy Hour for the full moon in Scorpio. So make sure you tune in for that. All right, let's see what's happening and what's in store for your love life this week. Scorpio, I see things in accelerated motion. Things are moving forward for you with ease and grace. This is literally like a shooting star, very lucky. You could be the apple of someone's eye or vice versa. They're the apple of your eye, but it is moving forward. And whether this is if you're single or if you're in a relationship, it is definitely moving forward with ease and grace. All right, so then we have match racing. So there could be some competition, but do know that you are ahead of the pack, okay, with the accelerated motion. Because this is saying that if you have competition in match racing when you're racing a sailboat, which I obviously race sailboats, but you have the same boat, but you have different tactics based on each team, okay? And so you could still have the same vessel, if you will, but it comes down to strategy, mind, heart, mind, body, and soul, and spirit. So no matter what, if you're working in integrity and standing in integrity this week, Scorpio, you will win the race, 100%. Okay, so for the Island Spice, let's see what that's all about for you. Make a luscious meal together. So yes, this is going to be like, they always say like the secret ingredient is the one that wins the baking contest or the chef contest, right? This is where you're going to win the race. I'm giving you a secret here, Scorpio. Make a luscious meal together and you will absolutely win the race. So let me know how that resonates. You'll have to come back and tell me if that actually manifested. All right, so moving on. We have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's going on, Cancers? My little crabbies, how are you? Oh, I hope all is going well. All right, so let's see what's in store for your love life this week, Cancers, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Okay, patience. So we have the patience card. So this is indicating, understanding that whenever you plant a seed, it takes time to germinate. It doesn't just grow like Jack and the Beanstalk as much as we want. That's very Aries energy, by the way, wanting that fast thing. But for you in your romance this week, you're being asked to be patient and also tend to these seeds that you are germinating with love and care, and see how she's literally just putting her good intentions in and manifesting by concentrating on the seed to germinate and grow with ease and beauty and grace. This is where you need to tap into that energy this week in your romantic life. Then we have the blue hole. So this is cool. I love this card. If you aren't around an ocean or know a lot about oceans, a blue hole is literally a bottomless pit in the ocean, but there's beautiful things to explore. You can scuba dive, you can snorkel, and it literally just is so beautiful. There's so many things to explore and discover that it hasn't been completely defined on what they have discovered or what can be discovered there. So this is basically saying sky is the limit. Okay. Just have patience because it will happen for you. All right. So with the Island Spice deck, we have, ooh, the sway of your body excites me. Okay. So Cancers. So there's a lot to explore here, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. So just nurture this time. Nurture this time together in your romance and in your romantic life. If you're single, then maybe this is how you start feeling about yourself in order to manifest what you want to have in a partner, because we are what we put out into the universe. So if you want certain aspects in somebody, you have to become that in order to have that or maintain it more so. It's easy to attract it, but the maintaining is the hard part, right? So best of luck, Cancers. Woo! That's awesome. All right, let's see who's next. Okay, we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising. What's going on, my little Saggies? Fellow fire sign in the house. Let me take a sip of peppermint water. It just feels so nice. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what's in store for your love life this week. Okay, ooh, sacrifice. So this is interesting. I always look at this card, I think of Sacagawea, but it's a sacrifice of letting go of control of how things are going to unfold and what you're trying to manifest if you're single or if you're in a relationship, but just tuning into your higher self, letting your higher self step in and give you guidance and patience, and literally, also balancing your chakras. This is, with the rainbow, those are the chakras. So making sure that you are balanced, because if you're balanced, that's when you're going to step out of this muddy water, this mucky water that you may be feeling that you're stuck in. You can get out of this. All you have to do is just ask your spirit guides, ask God to step in. Please help me with XYZ, because we all have free will. And if we don't ask our ancestors and our guides to step in, or God to step in, we're not asking for help, right? And so they can't help us unless we ask them to step in, specifically more for angels and spirit guides. All right, so we also have the It Is Bitchin' card. All right, so also, expected, this is about being the epitome of cool and awesome and best in show. So making sure you're not letting your ego with all this, this mucky water could be very ego driven too. So make sure you're coming from a higher purpose when you're coming into and handling your situations this week, because it can be top notch and it can accelerate that way. However, the ego is also the detriment of a lot of things in life. So you want to make sure that you're stepping aside from your ego this week, Sagittarius, and letting your heart be your guide, because listen, it is literally going to be in your best interest to do this, because you will reach the land of milk and honey. All right, so the Island Spice deck, let's see what we have going on. Fall asleep to the sound of the ocean. So this is beautiful. This is telling me, when you're by water, you're by the ocean, it literally just calms the mind. It literally it washes the heatness of ego or anything like that aggravation or anything that could be making you feel at ease, and just washes it away. It's always good to cleanse with water. If you aren't by the ocean, even if you take some salt and sprinkle it in your shower and just cleanse the energy, water holds memory. So if you're cleansing with it, it's pulling all the toxins out of your body too, and just releasing all that pent up energy and giving you a more relaxed, calm space. And when you have this in your relationship, or you're taking this energy into your relationships, you're going to get that back times 10. So let me know how that resonates for you this week, Sagittarius. All right. So now we have Leo. Leo, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on, Leos? Another fellow fire sign. I'm a Leo rising, so if you know, you know. All right, let's see what's going on for Leos this week in love. Heart chakra, just like a heart, like a lion, coming in with your letting that ego sit aside and making sure that you are heart forward in every endeavor you're doing this week for your love life, because it'll step you up with integrity, and you'll come across more genuine, because you will be more genuine by using your heart space and dropping into your heart space out of your mind, overthinking into your heart space, and then being led by your heart. And that is what's going to propel you forward in your romantic life. All right, so we also have clear skies ahead. So this is a beautiful indicator. If you lead with your heart this week, Leo, and let go of any of impatience or anything like that, especially overthinking, trying to figure things out, you will pass the test with flying colors. The relationship will move on to a level where you want it, whether you're single or you're in a relationship. It will strengthen that for you. And this is, the rainbow after the storm. So this is, this is aligning with your chakras, right? And especially with your heart space. So let's see what the Island Spice has to say on top of that. The cherry on top. Okay. So relax and wear loose clothing this week, Leo. Okay. Literally lay your hair down and have some fun. Like, you can't be uptight, overthinking things. How are things going to happen? Let that ego just chill out for a minute and lead with your heart. And, we always feel better when we're wearing loose clothing anyway. So that's what I have for Leos. All right. Love and light. Hi, how are you? I'm pulling cards at the end. So if you hang on, I'll pull a card for you, okay? All right. So now we're moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on, Capricorn? All right. Let's see what's in store for Capricorns in love life this week. If you're just chiming in, make sure you're saying hello in the chat. All right, we have truth. So truth be told is what just came to mind. I think that you're going to be faced with some options here and really seeing what's clear and where you need to head and what you want out of a partnership. And so if you're currently in one, you could be reassessing, or some truth could be coming to light. And if you are single, this could also be on what you actually want to manifest in a partner, the type of partner you want to be with. Are you being truthful to yourself on what it is you actually want? Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, we got a Capricorn in the chat. So let's see what the Beach Balance Life Ocean Goddess cards have to say. I made these. They're all based around surfing, sailing, and scuba diving. So we have the Sun Kiss card. So the Sun Kiss card is indicating literally, when the sun is shining on your face and you feel all the vitamin D and the UV rays just warm you up, and you're like, yeah, okay, it burns off all negative energy. It helps heal you on so many different levels. And this is saying this could be the truth also coming to light. So I feel like this is a good truth that's coming in either within yourself or in your romantic partnership. Let's see what the Island Spice card says for you. Woo. All right, so we have dance all night and get your groove on. Okay, Capricorn. So literally, like, it's time for you to let your hair down, have some fun, and know that, you're in the right place at the right time. Things are unfolding literally effortlessly for you in your love life this week. And as long as you're being truthful with yourself on what it is you are wanting. Now, if you're having some internal struggle, you might need to sit yourself down and have a talk, maybe do some journaling and some meditating and figuring out what it is, where you're headed, right? But overall, I think this is going to be really great for your romantic life this week, Capricorn. So love and light to you. All right, so moving on. Moving on to Pisces. Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. What's going on, Pisces? I love Pisces. Okay, so what is going on for Pisces in love this week? Ooh, awareness. Pisces, you're innately psychic anyway. So tuning into your awareness and tapping into that intuition you have right here, that is really indicating that you are in alignment, and making sure that you're being focused with where your intention on where you're heading with things, but I think you're very aware on what the situation is around you, whether you're single or you're in a partnership. You know exactly what needs to be done and how things are going to unfold. So, Pisces are very psychic, especially if you have an 8th house Pisces. Yeah. So sundial, this is indicating, time it flies when you're having fun and you don't know what time it is. And, time doesn't really exist at all. But when you're on the water or at the beach or in the sun in general, it just flies by like that. So this is saying get into that energy and that flow with Mother Nature and with the universe, and just see how things start to fall into place with all the beautiful timing. All right, to add a little island spice of nutmeg on top of that for you, we have what do you truly desire? So this is interesting because, with the awareness, I think you're very aware on what you want to manifest or what you are manifesting right now. Let's get the cards on screen. And I think that it's good to be aware and sit down and have a talk with yourself. What do you really want? Where do you want things to head? Is it fulfilling enough? Are you getting what you need? Things like that. And those answers will start to unfold, especially as your spirit guides and your angels. They will be able to step in and give you these answers. Automatically, you'll hear the voice, and you'll be your own voice in your head, and you'll know it'll be clear. Because when it's your intuition, it's a statement, and when it's fear, it's a question. So write that down. Okay. All right, let's see who's next. Loving that. Okay, now we have Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is going on, Aquarius? Let's see. Okay, let's see what's headed in your love life for this week. Ooh, truth. So truth be told, this came out for Capricorns too. So this is interesting. It's all about being truthful in what you want to manifest, and what's out there, what's outside the window, what is true and what's not. What are you protecting yourself from? I feel like you are an alchemist this week in love and deciding, you have all the elements to manifest and bring in what you want, or make the relationship what you want with your partner, of course, on the same page, in alignment, most likely, right? And seeing how things will unfold, because I think that also being truthful in a relationship is you might need to have some conversations or something to open up lines of communication. I do see with the rum line card, this is saying, you have from point A to point B, and on a sailboat, you have to tack back and forth. The rum line is the fastest way to get to the rum, get to the bounty, right? So being truthful with yourself, is that the bounty that you want? Is that the bounty that you have in mind? Or is it a fake map, right? So tuning into that energy on what's going to be best for you in your relationships, okay? Because I know you're excited to let this happen, but that also means that you need to trust yourself and trust others around you to get from point A to point B. All right, so island spice time. Let's get sweaty together. Okay, so this is saying it's time to tune into that energy. So I know you may be thinking that's the bounty, right? But being thoughtful on letting things unfold and manifest as they need to, and without rushing things, right? Using strategy and like taking it one step at a time in order to get to the end goal. Okay. Ooh, so let me know how that resonates, Aquarius. I love it. Okay. All right, so we have Libra next. Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's going on, Libras? How are you doing in this awesome energy we have going on? Okay, let's see what's in store for your love life this week. Okay, so we have sacrifice. So if you've been watching this whole time or tuning in and out, because I know people have been popping in and out, this is the second time this card's popped up. Interesting how that we're all collectively in the same energy, but then we do readings for each astrological sign, and there's still a lot of threads weaving in together, right? So this could be sacrificing, getting out of this like mucky water and tuning into your higher self to get off this earthly, dense energy of ego, desperation, lower chakra energies, right, that are out of balance, and balancing your chakras to step back into your highest alignment to move things forward for you and your romantic life this week. Okay. And I mean, you're really good at that, Libra. I mean, that's what you do. You're the scales, right? Balancing things out. I have scuba buddies. So this is indicating, making sure that you're, on the same path with your romantic partner, because it's a beneficial mutual relationship. And maybe the tweaks of getting out of the muckiness and the ego in that card and back and aligning your energies is putting you back in a situation where things are in alignment. Okay. If you don't know, scuba buddy, you always scuba dive with somebody. You never go scuba diving by yourself. So this is a very much of a partnership card, and someone who takes care of you unconditionally, and likewise you take care of them unconditionally. Because when you're scuba diving with your scuba buddy, you don't just sit there and be wishy-washy. You have to be very direct, like, oh, I'm cold, let's go up to the surface, or there's a shark, right? Something like that. It's not like, hey, I think I might get together with you on Friday, whatever, right? This has to be very direct energy, because you can't mess around when you're under the surface of the ocean, okay? So, or any surface of water, that when you're scuba diving. So let's see what the Island Spice card is for that. Yes, you need to spend some time together alone, okay? And really spend time with your partner or the person that if you're single, you're trying to move things forward with. That's how you get to know somebody on a quality level, is spending time together. Texting all the time, phone calls, we're getting a little better with phone calls, but spending time together is where you really bond on so many levels of not just communicating verbally, but also nonverbal communication, spiritual communication, emotional communication, right? So that's what I have for Libra. Woohoo, Libra, sun, moon, or rising. Let's see. All right, we have last but not least, we have Gemini, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on, Gemini? Okay, let's see what's in store for your love life this week. All right, so we have suffering and silence. So Gemini, you may be feeling a little offbeat depending on where Gemini is in your chart, where your sun sign is in your chart, or your rising sign as well. But, this could indicate that there could be some upheaval coming up, or you just had like a little bump in the road. But suffering and silence is only good for a little while. Like, it's like when an emotion passes through us, you're only you should only let the emotion flow through you for just like 5 to 10 seconds, and you just let it go. But a lot of people sit and ruminate and then listen to depressing songs to keep that energy amplifying. And the more you focus, the more you bring in that energy. So what I'm sensing is an indication of reaching out, or someone reaching out for you. But I think it's always good to ask people for help, especially if it's in a relationship or single or something like that. We have pumped the bilge. So yes, you need to literally get rid of non-essential toxic energy in your field, because you're going to sit in it too much and you're going to end up being by yourself. So something shady around you is going to, it's under the surface, but if you speak up and start reaching out and making that moves to open up the lines of communication within yourself, aligning your chakras, and then cleansing out the toxic energy around you, you will absolutely be able to move things forward. So when that happens, let's see what the Island Spice outcome is. Make a luscious meal together. I love that. Okay, so this is this is a good indicator to really step into that. What's the secret ingredient that's going to help you take things to the next level, right? Don't suffer in silence anymore. Get out there, go grocery shopping, metaphorically, get aligned with some new emotions, get some sprinkle back in your life, and things will move forward for you this week. Gemini, I hope that resonates. All right, so are you still in the chat? Veronica? All right. So I can't even talk. Literally, like, I don't know what's hitting in my chart right now where I'm like stumbling all over my words. Oh, I know. It's because I worked out a lot today. So anyway, that being said, tune in to Spiritual Happy Hour on Thursdays. Go check out my other videos. A lot of the readings are timeless. There's a lot of good stuff on there, a lot of good things in store that I'm coming out with, and it's all going to start snowballing and amplifying, and I would just love for you all to be a part of it. So make sure you're sharing this video with friends and family and people who would be aligned with this energy to create a community together. So other than that, I will catch you all on the next wave. Have a good rest of the night. Bye.